made Motown famous, and I live in Detroit, and I'm obnoxious. I am proud. I am outspoken.
It's a special day for the city of Detroit. Motown. It's Detroit's annual bass day, as in that musical instrument.
Today we have going on a wonderful, you hear it in the background, we have Detroit Bass Day. You hear the horns, you hear the celebration. This is all Detroit. This is what we do. The music, the mayhem, and the message. So we're here today celebrating the 50th recording anniversary of Papa Was A Rollin Stone, the Temptations version. That Grammy-Award winning song deserved to be honored.
World-renowned bassist and Detroit native Kern Brantley started Detroit Bass Day, inspired by the many legendary bassists that have come from Detroit, who've influenced music around the world.
Ralph Armstrong, that works with Mahavishnu Orchestra in Santana, is a bass player from Detroit. Nate Watts, who's the bassist for Stevie Wonder, is from Detroit. Alex Al, bassist for Michael Jackson, is from Detroit. Elton John's bass player, Matt, is from Michigan. Byron Miller, who plays with Marvin Gaye and Luther Vandross, is from Detroit. Lawrence Washington with Charlie Wilson is from Detroit. So Detroit has a lot of really prominent bass players. So we decided to come together here at Motown and give honor to Mr. James Jamerson, who was the Motown bass player who played on over 3,000 hit records. We're also doing a tribute to the late Mr. Michael Henderson, Detroit bass player that just passed away, as well as bass player Reggie Candy and Bolly Craig. So we got 50 bass players that's going to gather here today, and we're all going to perform Papa Was A Rollin Stone, giving a tribute to a song that came out 50 years ago this month, recorded right here at Hitsville, USA in Detroit with the Temptations.
The richness and the legacy of what Detroit specifically contributes to bass guitar worldwide is my explanation of Detroit Bass Day. This is our 9th annual year. Next year we're going to do something crazy for the 10th. But we figured no one's ever had 50 bass players playing at the same time.
But today isn't just about celebrating the popularity of the Motown hit. It's also about exploring deeper themes in the song itself: family responsibility and fatherhood. This is Richard Tolman with the University of Michigan School of Social Work. He's leading the Papa Was project.
So when we heard that there was going to be a 50 bassist tribute to the song Papa Was A Rolling Stone, we thought this would be a great opportunity to tell stories about fathers and have 50 father stories to match the 50 bassists that are going to play today about the song. We've got spoken word artists who are going to do poems about their fathers and about fatherhood and about fathering, to bring that into it and to enrich the legacy of this amazing song that so many people resonate with.
30 years with me, 3 weeks at the hospital, forehead, I kissed it, his hand, I held it, thinking I'm still too young for these growing pains. His breath was last to remain, it left his body and filled my own life, now reflects his impact on mine. Thinking back, I was just a little kid, snotty nose, putting on his work boots, something fun to do, running endless errands just to spend more and more time with you. Sitting at the kitchen table as you paid the bills, I could only imagine the ticket for 3 kids. Waking up on a school night when I heard you come home from Chrysler. I knew you were tired, but still, we secretly ate fries and spoke laughter. Good nights, you gave me kisses on my forehead. That's the love I knew from my father.
You know, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about fatherhood from not only society, but fathers themselves. So we just want to provide like a open space, a brave space for these men to come together. So not only are they supporting one another, but also supporting the development and the relationships of their family.
And we know there's so many stories of dads in Detroit and everywhere that are showing up for their kids, that are doing amazing things, meeting the challenges of being dads. And we wanted to tell all those stories. A lot of the guys, you know, that experience maybe father absence themselves, they dedicate themselves to being the kind of father maybe that they didn't have or that they wish that they had. And then they go show up and make that happen.
Just like the bass anchors the band, we're here to anchor and support Kern Brantley. So one band global, Kern Brantley, these 50 bass players everywhere, Motown Museum, and the message behind the music. Papa Was A Rollin Stone was a song that, while that groove and that beat caught you, the message was one that made you think. And we're here today to celebrate both the beat and the groove, as well as the message.
The African World Festival took over Detroit's Hart Plaza back in July. 2 stages came alive with music, theater, poetry, dance, and more over a weekend. There was also a marketplace filled with over 150 vendors celebrating African food and art. Let's take a look back at this year's festival while we dream about next year's.
It was a journey through African culture by way of Detroit, the 39th annual African World Festival. The festival was put on by the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. Vendors from around the country and patrons from around Detroit and the Midwest packed Hart Plaza. Njia Kai, festival director, helped put it all together. Something she says takes a lot of planning.
We do our very best to make this as wonderful an event and as full of variety and to pull from the full African world, because there's so many traditions, so much different music and presentations and culture and technology, and there's just a lot to pull from. And so we have a sampling here that we hope our community will come and enjoy and acquaint themselves with the variety and the deep richness, really, of the African culture.
It's been years since the African World Festival was held at Hart Plaza.
The last time we were here was 2011. So it's been quite a while since we were down on the river, and we're happy to return. We were happy at the Wright Museum and on the grounds and streets around the museum, but of course, this is a venue made for this type of event, and as we continue to grow around the museum, it was time to make a move.
Oh, I love it here. I know it was down by the Afro-American Museum and all there. That was nice. But here it's more festive.
I like this downtown better.
What do you think about the selection in terms of all the African art, different things that it offered?
Oh, it's a great variety here.
So what brought you out here today?
The festival is the one that brought me out here. I do this every year at the Wright Museum, but this is the first time doing it here at the Hart Plaza. That's what brought me over here.
Originally from Liberia, Daijah Moss traveled from his home in Columbus, Ohio, to sell some of his African art collection here.
Yeah, the price on this, I'm asking $25,000 for that.
$25,000? You think you'll sell something like that? That's a lot of money.
For the right person that will like it, of course I will.
The African World Fest had a variety of vendors, for those who were looking to purchase high-end African art to those who wanted a small piece of African culture.
Yeah, I got some African attires from Ghana, from Gambia, and we have some African shea butter for dry skin blemishes, and we have African handmade fans from Ghana. That's the one right there. You're looking at it. You know, different stuff, you know, mostly for women.
And of course, there was plenty of food.
He's cooking up here.
Cooking some jerk chicken and a curry chicken.
What do you think about this food selection they have here?
Outstanding.
It smells awesome.
After checking out the food, we checked out more art vendors and patrons like Katie Holmont, who stopped by from Farmington Hills.
It's been very welcoming, very open, a lot of diversity here. So I think that's great. And of course, the vendors. Donald Calloway has been a great friend, and I think that his displays are some of the best.
Detroit artist Donald Calloway is selling his unique artwork.
It's part of a series I call Rediscovery. I'm taking objects, rediscovering them, and transforming into art. The base of this is of a chair and parts of furniture and children's toys. Put it all together and make the faces.
I see you ladies are out here showcasing some local offerings.
We have Jafra Cosmetics, the international cosmetic company, and we have fragrances, body care, skin care is what we specialize in. Actually, we call it royal jelly for the skin, nature's perfect food.
From African music to blues, and gospel performances, people were able to take a break from checking out what vendors had to offer to be entertained.
This is actually my very first festival. I'm enjoying it a lot. I like all the different booths. I especially like the earrings.
Oh, it's good. It's good for everybody to be able to get out and mix and mingle, and it's just outstanding.
We appreciate the Wright Museum and all of the sponsors who support the museum and this festival so that we can continue to have this annual gathering that pulls people together like family.